That's the screen recording. So that should work. We should get a recording here. Hopefully we don't get like like it looks like there's two screens, but that should be all right. Um,
Okay.
so on your, I'm gonna share a tab with you,
Okay.
um, and it'll show you classes. Can you see this screen here?
Uh,
What do you?
yeah.
Okay, and this is you actually. I Teachers or staff have the ability to act as anybody else in the
Mhm.
school. So these are your classes. You can see right now you have 95% in biology, 56% in fashion, and 15% in geometry. And I think you said you were working on these like one at a time or something like that.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. So let me show you how we so what the school is doing when they run that lesson count is they're not really counting the total number of lessons that you do. And I'm having a hard time
Mhm.
understanding this as well. What they're doing is they take all the lessons that you have and then they do an average of all those lessons to because you're supposed to do 10 a week, but they they figure it out based on that. But if you're doing around 10 a week, you should be okay. The reason is some lessons count for more than others. I know that sounds
Uh-huh.
weird, but sometimes in a lesson, like for instance, um, in a lesson might have these are your lessons here. Like this lesson only has a couple of things, whereas another
Mhm.
lesson might have multiple things that you have to work
Yeah.
on. So it just kind of depends. But each one of these is a lesson. Wow. And you can see with the black check mark here that you've done all of these. And it's usually easy to tell because you did the exam. So you would have gotten
Mhm.
6 total lessons done for this one. And then for unit two, which says you're all the way done here, you would have gotten another 5. So that would have 11 total lessons completed. If
Yeah.
you did the student resources part, then it counts those, but I think, or it did in the beginning. So when I looked at what you had done, you did. It looks like you did 3 lessons that first week, and
Mhm.
then what did I email you? What did I tell you that it was that? Hold on, let me see if I can move this. Do you what you still see your school, right? Your
Yeah.
classes? Okay, all right. I just had to open another screen to see if I can read. Um, be, and the other thing, well, just to back up a little bit, the other thing is I'm not sure I was given the right data, and so because I had
Uh-huh.
another student who I went back and looked at what I was told that I could, that the information that I was given that said that he did 12 lessons and he had only done 5. So I don't know what got counted wrong. So I know
Yeah.
that they excused your absence. So in this sense, because there's a discrepancy. So I think there's more than just you counting wrong happening here. And I don't
Yeah. That's
know.
what I thought too, because like I know for a fact last week that I did the 3 lessons that I was told that I still had to do,
Uh-huh.
but I don't know. Like the first
Yeah.
week, I thought that first week might have been my fault, but the second week, I made sure that it wasn't going to happen
And
again.
did you get an absence notice the second week too?
I did, but she excused it.
Okay. Um, yeah, so I don't know the easiest way to go through, and it would be hard for me to tell, would be to go through and whenever you did these, but it only tells
Mhm.
you the due date here. It doesn't tell you when you actually completed them. So it's counting. So if you did 3 lessons in one week, you don't have to do 13 the next week to meet the attendance requirement, if that makes sense,
Mhm.
or whatever. You don't have to catch up. It's just counted per week. So if you do uh, 10 in one week, the next week you're supposed to do 10 again. It doesn't matter what lesson you're on because the due dates are for you to guide yourself. They're not like if you pass this due date, you can still go back and do the work,
Uh-huh.
right? So it's not counting back work. It's only should be counting the work that you do during the week. But I don't know where the count is messing me up. Let me read something to you that I got from our department chair yesterday that might, well, let me read it again. So it's really, I thought it was as simple as it automatically counts your lessons and tells you what's happening, and that kind of seemed like that's how it was what was happening, but it doesn't, because it would be too hard to um, like the it doesn't technically, so this is what I was told, the report technically doesn't count lesson completion. It counts how many different pages you view, activities you complete, stuff like that, and then there's a formula based off of that that tells how many lessons you complete. So the problem is with the
Mm-hmm.
student resources module, students have so many requirements in a short time that it gives you credit for like 5 lessons in the top part, like in this
Mm-hmm.
part of each class there's this. So if you go through this, like most teachers require that you go through this, you have to do all
Mm-hmm.
these activities, but then it counts this. But so then that spreads out, and I I just feel like I'm not able to answer the questions that you have. I can show you how to count your lessons, and I think you know how to do that. I just don't
Yeah.
know if your counting is gonna match. Like my suggestion is probably to do one or two more than you think you've done,
Okay.
and then you should always be okay. And I know that's
All
kind
right.
of lame, but also, at the end of the day, like if you get to 5 absences, then you and I have a conversation. What are you going to do
Yeah.
different? And then if you get to 10, we have another conversation, and you can get one of them waived. And so you're never really going to get kicked out for absences if
Mm-hmm.
we're in communication, if we're constantly talking, and then at the end of the quarter, if you pass all your classes, then it becomes kind of a moot point, and then every 2 quarters your absence is reset. Does that make sense? So you're
Yeah.
not going to get expelled or anything like that for attendance issues. If you
Mm-hmm.
get zeros, but even then there's extenuating circumstances and all that. But you do get the notifications, and they put a lot of emphasis on the attendance. But if you and I are talking and you have a plan, and then if you can do the best you can to do 2 or 3 more lessons a week, you'll always
Mm-hmm.
be safe. But that might not always happen. And I have some kids
Yeah.
that it takes them 2 quarters to get to 5 absences, but they get them. And I have other kids that get to 12 or 13 absences, but they still pass the class. So,
Mm-hmm.
in the grand scheme of things, it doesn't mess with your, what do you want to say? It doesn't ruin um, your record in the school by any
Mm-hmm.
means, other than if you're looking for zero absences or something like that. But does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so I think you're okay. I think you're on the right track. I will try to get some more clarification as to exactly how things are counted, if I can do a better job of it. But are you counting things the way kind of like I was counting them?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So there may have been just some miscommunication. And this Friday, I'll confirm, and look before I send out the form to see what it says that you're at versus what it says you. It's hard for me to see because I don't know what you did that first week, and so then
Yeah.
everything builds off that first week. So how many lessons you did this week, I can see what lesson you're at, but I don't necessarily know how many you did this week, other than
Mm-hmm.
by subtraction, which you would know better.
Yeah.
So, yeah, shoot for 12 this week and see,
Okay.
and you shouldn't have any problems. But
All right.
is everything else going okay?
Yeah, everything else is fine. It was just that one.
Okay.
My mom wanted me to talk to someone, like, not in person, but
Oh, I
you know.
understand. Yeah, yeah, for sure. All right. Well, cool. I will
Yeah.
chat with you later, and
Awesome.
and then I'll send you a copy of this, um, if your mom wants to watch it.
Okay.
All right.
All
All
right.
right. Well,
Thank you.
yeah, of course. Thanks.